Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope we're doing well, and today we're talking about Godzilla King of the Monsters and how its Rotten Tomatoes score has officially been revealed, as I've been getting a lot of people saying, hey, what are your thoughts about the Godzilla scores? Do you think they're legit? Do you think that the critics are just hating on this film and that makes it automatically good? Or are these reviews probably accurate? So obviously I haven't seen the film yet, so I cannot speak to that myself. I am going to see it tomorrow, 4 p.m. IMAX showing, so I'm still very excited for it, even with these early reviews coming out, because it hasn't just been the official critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but also many of the people that I follow on YouTube have come out with their reviews as well, and theirs has been very, I would say, timid responses, very rather low responses to this film. And I will say, based on what I'm hearing and reading in these criticisms, it seems to me that the concern that I had going into this film is being realized, and that is that they focused so much so on the monsters, so much so on having it be more Godzilla, doing the complete opposite of what they did in the 2014 Godzilla film, that it ended up just losing the story. And basically it comes to the point where, just as in that film it seemed like there were empty human characters, this one it seems like there's even more emptiness to the human characters, which you see even less of during the film, according to early reviews, of course. So this is from Bounding into Comics, and it says here that right now, as of today, with 52 tomato meter critic approved people who are Rotten Tomatoes approved, which of course means absolutely nothing in this world, that it's at 52%. Now, of course, that does not really tell us much about the actual score, and I'm staying away from Rotten Tomatoes, at least for right now, because why would I want to give them a click at this point? But still, 52% of critics 52% of critics gave this movie a fresh rating. So basically a split, half and half. Some liked it, some didn't like it. Here are what some of the critics are saying, though. Carrie Darling from the Houston Chronicle says, it's fitting that a film that is so unapologetically conventional and predictable, even by the standards of the genre, ends with the song Godzilla, a cover of a Blue Oyster Cult track. As with so much of the movie, it has been done before and better. Glennie Kenny of the New York Times gives a positive film rating. He says it's rather besides the point to note plot goofiness in a Godzilla picture, but this one does push its luck now and then. Anton Battelle, Little White Lies, says Godzilla King of the Monsters rattles and races along through a variety of set pieces to a literally explosive finish, while leaving the impression that a Pandora's box, once opened, may unleash perpetual pandemonium of sequels. Mick LaSalle says what little pleasure the movie offers of small and intermittent. So basically, based on this first series of reviews, it seems to me that if you're going into this film expecting and wanting to see monster carnage, you're going to get it. So if that's something that you're looking forward to, it sounds like you're going to come out of this film extremely happy. If you're going into this film expecting more nuanced approaches, expecting a good story, expecting a wonderful performance by an actor or actress that's going to steal the day, it's not for you. This is not the movie for you, based on these early reviews. And I think that's the reason why it's important for us to have a fair site where you break down your objective and subjective points, which is why, again, I'm trying to build that site. I'm trying to build that world over this coming summer. That all being said, though, what we can see from these early reviews is Godzilla seems to be a kick-ass time. Seems that most audiences are probably going to come away saying, yeah, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed shoving popcorn down my mouth. But if you're going in there expecting something a little bit better, a little bit deeper, you're not going to get that. Now, some might say, why would you expect that from a Godzilla film? Well, I'll say this much. 2014's Godzilla, the reason why I personally liked that film so much was because it was not a typical monster film. It was not a typical Godzilla film. It was able to show that you can actually build an interesting world and build an actual deeper story around a film in which monsters exist. Now, some people like that, some people didn't like it. It seems that this, though, tries to do the exact opposite and say, let's give you all the monsters, all the screen time you want, but at the sake of any sensible story or plots or any other human characters. So some people might like that. I think a lot of people are going to be drawn to this. I still think this movie is going to make a crap ton of money. Now, isn't it interesting, though, that for this, you'll find that Rotten Tomatoes probably will not take out and take after any person that would have left a interested, not interested review for this film, even though we know it would not have had any impact on the box office whatsoever. If anyone thinks that low critic ratings affects box office, I would say, okay, fine, let's look at this film right here. Let's look at Godzilla King of the Monsters. I guarantee you that by the end of its run, Godzilla King of the Monsters is going to be $1 billion film. You want to know how I know that? Because I know how audiences approach films, and I know that certain topics, certain audiences, and also the way that they are promoted, and of course, when and where they are released, has an impact on how much a film is going to make. This film has $1 billion written all over it. Just because a film makes a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good film. However, just because Rotten Tomatoes says, oh my gosh, it is a rotten movie, does not mean that the movie is necessarily bad. As we know, there is always going to be an objective point of view and a subjective one. This, to me, seems to show very clearly that when it comes to how one views a film, unfortunately, too many critics have let their subjective views and their subjective opinions take over and take hold of their overall thoughts, while many who are focusing and trying to stay as objective as possible kind of get lost in the weeds. It seems to me that giving this film a 2 out of 4 or 2.5 out of 5 seems to be pretty much the standard, at least this seems to be the most common response given to this film. And also, this film seems to be a crap ton of fun. So anyway, guys, what are y'all's thoughts? Do you think that Godzilla King of the Monsters is going to be a great film? As I said before, I don't think that most people are wanting to have this film be a great, nuanced approach to monster films. You know, as someone said, oh, you know, this has been done before and it's been done better. You know, that very well could be the case. But if you enjoy having fighting, you know, monsters fighting titans on screen, well, then it sounds like you might be overall impressed. I will say this much, that one person that I really trust on YouTube, again, it was Jeremy John's review, says that if all of the fight sequences in this film can't match the incredible fight sequence that happened at the end of the 2014 Godzilla film, that does have me slightly concerned that yes, it might be a lot of monster fighting, but as I've been saying, and as I've been very careful of, and as I've been very concerned about, if it becomes complete digital noise to the point where it's just CGI fest on screen, those are the types of films I tend to be very critical of. So I'm just going to, you know, put that out there. I'm going to go see this tomorrow. I'm going to vlog my experience. I'm going to vlog my instant review, my instant reaction to this film. And it seems to me that I will probably fall somewhere in line with these people. Now, of course, my subjective experience could be so high, could be so just, the film could be so great and so entertaining to me that I very well could come out of it having a very positive experience, but just be ready. Because as I said before, I was never completely bought and sold on this film based on the trailers because I thought the trailers showed too much. It seems that what the trailers show is indeed what the movie is about, which is mostly monsters with only a few little pieces talking about the actual human persons, which again, I know is what people don't really care about as much. But I think that if we want a franchise to not only be good, but also to be able to move forward, it can't just be about monsters, CGI fest, but to have at least a little bit more of a story and a reason to stay invested in that story, which is why, again, I like Godzilla 2014. So anyway, guys, let me know your own thoughts. Are you going to see Godzilla tomorrow? Do you have tickets? Have you already seen it? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Also, guys, if you like this video, smash the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. You're all amazing and beautiful people. And yes, I know, I have a haircut. I'm sure that's going to be the talk of the town in the comments. But don't worry, hair grows back. Have a great day. And as always, God bless.